Welcome back to Timeless Messages from the Ching. This is Stephen. Thanks for tuning in. So if you found this video, there's no mistake. There are messages here to help you on your path, your journey. No matter when you find this video, these are timeless messages. So if you find this video in 10 months or 2 years, doesn't matter. You've been drawn here for a reason. Your higher self, your creator, your angels, your spirit guides, whomever you connect with, they have brought you here to help you on your path. So, without further ado, I'm going to ask the general question: what are the most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time that they find this video? What are the most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they view this video? Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they view this video. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they view this video. Number 6. Okay. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they view and find this video. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they find and view this video. Most beneficial messages from the viewers at the time they find and view this video. Okay. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they find and view this video. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they find and view this video. Come here, you. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they find and view this video. Lots of change here. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they find and watch this video. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they find and watch this video. Most beneficial messages for the viewers at the time they watch and find this video. Okay. Lots of change. Yang yin. Sun. And this is, get that in there, Kun. Okay, Kun. And Yang Yin. That's another, that's a double trigram there, same one above and below. And then this is, I can tuck it down here, it looks like Chien. Okay, Sun and Sun, 57, Kun and Qian, 11, I think that's peace, sounds good, 57 and 11. So if you want to relax your eyes and just take a few deep breaths and think about the particular situation that you find yourself in, your particular life, your focus right now. The gentle. The penetrating wind. We've had this one before, I think. Sure of it, in fact, but not with these particular changes. And number 11. Yep, it is peace. That sounds nice. Tai. We'll put that on there too, like Tai Chi. And that is peace. Okay. Okay, just relax and open your mind and see how these messages relate to what you're experiencing, the questions you might have currently in your life. The gentle, penetrating wind. Sun is one of the 8 double trigrams. It's the eldest daughter and symbolizes wind or wood. It has for its attribute gentleness, which nonetheless penetrates like the wind or like growing wood with its roots. The dark principle in itself, rigid and immovable, is dissolved by the penetrating light principle, to which it subordinates itself in gentleness. In nature, it is the wind that disperses the gathered clouds, leaving the sky clear and serene. In human life, it is penetrating clarity of judgment that gets rid of all dark and hidden motives. In the life of the community, it is the powerful influence of a great personality that uncovers and breaks up the intrigues which shun the light of day. The judgment, the gentle, success through what is small. It furthers one to have somewhere to go. It furthers one to see the great person. Penetration produces gradual and inconspicuous effects. It should not be affected by an act of violation, but by influence that never ceases. Results of this kind are less dramatic and striking to the eye than those won by a surprise attack, but these results are more enduring and more complete. If a person would produce such effects, this person must have a clearly defined goal, for only when the penetrating influence works always in the same direction can the object be attained. Small strength can achieve its purpose only by humbling itself to an eminent or prominent superior person who is capable of creating order. The image, winds fouling one upon the other, the image of the gently penetrating. Thus the superior person spreads their commands abroad and carries out their undertakings. The penetrating quality of the wind depends upon its ceaselessness. This is what makes it so powerful. Time is its instrument. In the same way, the ruler's thought should penetrate the soul of the people. This too requires a lasting influence brought about by enlightenment and command. Only when the command has been assimilated and absorbed by the people is action in agreement with this command possible. Action without preparation of the ground only frightens and repels. So action without preparing those that are involved in whatever action you might be taking will tend to frighten and repel the people and not produce the best results. So 6 at the beginning. 6 at the beginning means in advancing and in retreating. The perseverance of a warrior furthers. Inborn gentleness is often carried to the point of indecisiveness. A person does not feel strong enough to advance resolutely and with confidence. 1,000 doubts crop up. One is, however, not minded to withdraw, but drifts indecisively to and fro. So there's an indecisiveness. In such a situation, a military decisiveness is the proper thing, so that one decisively and resolutely does what the time demands. Resolute discipline is far better than irresolute license or freedom. Say this a different way. So, decisive discipline is far better than indecisive freedom. So 9 in the, that's one of the changes. So hopefully the idea of being decisive rather than indecisive comes through for you. This is an important thing. And because these doubts, a saying, crop up, but one should not drift indecisively to and fro. And strong and decisive discipline is a better choice than indecisive freedom. So 9 in the 5th place. Perseverance brings good fortune. This is the 9 in the 5th place up here. Perseverance brings good fortune. Remorse vanishes. Nothing that does not further. No beginning, but an end. Before the change, 3 days. After the change, 3 days. Good fortune. In the situation described in Ku, worked on what has been spoiled, number 18, that's the previous hexagram, an entirely new point of departure must be set up. Whereas here, in this present hexagram, the gentle penetrating wind, this hexagram, it is only a question of reforms or changes. The beginning has not been good, but the moment has been reached when a new direction can be taken. Change and improvement are called for. Such steps must be undertaken with steadfastness and consistency, that is, with a firm and correct attitude of mind. Then these changes will succeed and remorse will disappear. But it must be remembered that such improvements require careful consideration. Before a change is made, it is necessary to note carefully for some time after how the improvements bear the test of reality. I'll say that again. After the change is made, it is necessary to note carefully for some time after how the improvements bear the test of reality. So careful work is accompanied by good fortune. So be careful in what you're doing. Note that when you make changes, it's important to observe how the improvements are working in terms of your reality, because change and improvement are called for, and such steps must be undertaken with steadfastness and with a firm and correct attitude of mind. 9 at the top, which is the last line, penetration under the bed. This person loses their property and their axe. Perseverance brings misfortune. A person's understanding is sufficiently penetrating, but this person follows no injurious influences or detrimental influences into the most secret corners. But this person no longer has the strength to combat them decisively. In this case, any attempt to penetrate into the personal domain of darkness would only bring harm. So this is a caution. A person's understanding is sufficiently penetrating. There's no problem with your understanding. This person follows up destructive influences into the most secret corners where they reside. This is not a good idea, though. But this person has no longer the strength to combat these detrimental influences in a decisive way. So in this particular scenario, this particular archetype, this particular image guidance, any attempt to penetrate into the personal domain of darkness will only bring harm. So be careful. Even though you may have guidance and wisdom about some particular negativity or darkness that someone may be enacting, or even within yourself, or some sort of pattern that's no longer working, whatever this may be, a relationship, a dynamic, many different ways you can think of it, you're very sufficiently penetrating with your understanding, but beware that you should not follow this into the darkness, because this can only bring harm. Stay out in the light, know that your understanding is real and true, but don't try to combat these things decisively. This will bring only harm. Be careful. Number 11, peace. So we have the gentle penetrating wind as the foundational message, if you will, with numerous changes. And let me just recap some of those changes. The 9 and the fifth or the 6th place I just did discuss. Let's go back to the 9 in the 5th place. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, 9 in the 5th place. So improvements are required. Careful consideration needs to occur before a change is made. This should be pondered over and over again. And after the change is made, it's really necessary to take care and watch how in these improvements, these changes, will actually bear fruits in the reality that you're dealing with. So you're considering making some changes, fantastic. Pay attention after you make those changes, how they make changes and improvements or not to your life. Because it says the beginning has not been good, but a new direction can be taken. The moment is here for that. Change and improvement are called for, but this must be taken with consistency, steadfastness, and with a firm and correct and consistent attitude of mind. So, 6 at the beginning, sometimes gentleness is carried to the point of indecisiveness, and a person does not feel strong enough to advance strongly and confidently. Though thousands of doubts will crop up. However, the person should not drift indecisively to and fro. In such a situation, it's important to be so decisive, just like in a military situation. That's the proper way, so that you can confidently do what the time demands. And it further says, to be confident in your discipline and resolute and consistent in your choice, your discipline, is always far better than to be inconsistent in your freedom. So to be inconsistent in freedom is much worse than to be consistent in discipline. Okay? Say it another word, irresolute is the opposite of resolute. When you're resolute, you're steadfast, you're solid in your decision. So you don't want to be non-solid in your decision in regards to absolute freedom. You don't want to pursue absolute freedom because there's too much freedom there, you never get anything going. You want to have some form of decisive discipline to take you toward what it is you need to accomplish. Okay, number 11, peace. The receptive earth above the creative heaven. The receptive, which moves downward, stands above. The creative, which moves upward, is below. Therefore, their influences meet and are in harmony. The two of them come together. Earth descends, earth is weighty, heaven wants to rise, so the two of them are drawn together. This is the union of heaven and earth. So their influences meet and are in harmony so that all living things bloom and prosper. This hexagram belongs to the first month, February and March, at which time the forces of nature prepare for new spring. The judgment, peace. The small departs, the great approaches, good fortune, success. This hexagram denotes a time in nature when heaven seems to be on earth. Heaven has placed itself beneath the earth so their powers unite in deep harmony. Then peace and blessing descend upon all living things. In the world of humanity, this is a time of social harmony. Those in high places show favor to the lowly, and the lowly and inferior, in their turn, are well disposed toward the highly placed. There is an end to all feuds, fights, and arguments. Inside, at the center, is the key position, right here. And that center is the light principle. The dark principle is outside. Thus, the light has a powerful influence, while the dark is submissive and humble. In this way, each receives its due. When the good elements of society and humanity occupy a central position and are in control, the evil elements come under their influence and change for the better. When the spirit of heaven rules in humanity, humanity's animal nature also comes under this spiritual influence and takes its appropriate place. The individual lines enter the hexagram from below and leave it again at the top. Here, the small, weak, and evil elements are about to take their departure. These up here are leaving. These light elements at the bottom are rising up. While the great, strong, and good elements are moving up. This brings good fortune and success. The image, heaven and earth unite. The image of peace. Thus the ruler divides and completes the course of heaven and earth. The ruler furthers and regulates the gifts of heaven and earth, and so aids the people. Heaven and earth are in contact and combine their influences, thus producing a time of universal flowering and prosperity. This stream of energy must be regulated by the ruler of humanity. It is done by a process of division. Thus, people divide the uniform flow of time into the seasons, according to the succession of natural phenomenon, and mark off infinite space by the points of the compass. In this way, nature, in its overwhelming abundance of phenomenon, is bounded and controlled. On the other hand, nature must be furthered or enhanced in her productiveness. This is done by adjusting the products to the right time and the right place, which increases the natural yield. This controlling and furthering activity of humanity in their relation to nature is the work on nature that rewards humanity. So here we go from the cautionary first hexagram of the penetrating wind and the ideas of penetrating or taking decisive action, but also not following darkness, as in the last 9 in the 6th place, not following darkness to its secret places, but staying in your own inner light. Even though you have awareness and understanding of certain things you don't need to point out to others or a situation. Let them be, and that way you will not invite harm. Okay. Then we move to the idea of peace. And this is a wonderful hexagram. It talks about heaven and earth uniting, peace, success, good fortune. The good elements are in the right positions and the evil elements are under their influence, and they change for the better. So heaven and earth and their powers unite in deep harmony. Okay, this heaven and earth we can think of as the divine feminine and masculine uniting. You can think about your own internal energies of your divine feminine and masculine energies in harmony, the energies being complementary. You can think about a relationship between two people. Gender could be female and male, could be male and male, female and female. It doesn't really matter because we're all a combination of male and female anyway. So the idea, though, is that this is a flowering, a blossoming, a very beautiful time. So try to take advantage of this time because everything changes and moves, and this is a wonderful time to tap into this energy because it brings good fortune and success. And enjoy this time of peace because this will be a wonderful place for you to be. So remember that this is a heaven and earth are in contact. They combine their influences. They're combining their energies. You might think about that in your relationship with others as well. How is it that I might be able to combine my energies more freely with this other person? Or how would they be able to combine their energies more freely and openly with me? That's a consideration. And how can I combine my energies more freely with a particular situation? How can I be more open in a particular situation? Because this is how we achieve this universal flowering and prosperity through the unity of these complementary opposites. So that's what I have for you now. I would recommend that you listen to this reading once again, at least, if not twice again, and write down the most pertinent ideas that are revealed through this process. I hope this has helped you. And if you would like to schedule a personal reading, the information on the personal readings is in the description box. Thanks for tuning in, and take care.